Italy in the 14th century was not a single country. It was a patchwork of powerful city-states. Florence, Venice, Genoa, and Milan each governed themselves. They competed fiercely for trade, for prestige, and for talent. That rivalry became the first spark. Geography gave Italy an edge no one else had. The Italian peninsula sits in the center of the Mediterranean Sea. For centuries, it was the gateway between Europe and the great markets of the Middle East and Asia. Italian merchants grew rich moving silk, spices, and ideas. Banks in Florence invented new ways to handle money. Families like the Medici turned banking profits into political power. Wealthy patrons had the funds to pay artists, architects, and scholars to create. Without money, there is no art. Italy had money. Italy also had the past at its doorstep. The ruins of ancient Rome were everywhere. Broken columns, forgotten statues, and crumbling forums were part of daily life. Romans had built a civilization of law, engineering, and human achievement. Italians in the 1300s began to look at those ruins with new eyes. They asked what made Rome great. They started digging up old manuscripts. When Constantinople fell to the Ottomans in 1453, Greek scholars fled west. Many came to Italy. They carried texts by Plato, Aristotle, and Homer that Western Europe had not seen in centuries. Italians could now read the ideas that built the classical world. That rediscovery fueled a new way of thinking called humanism. Medieval scholars focused on God and the afterlife. Humanists looked at human potential in this life. They studied poetry, history, rhetoric, and moral philosophy. They believed education could shape better citizens. This shift changed painting, sculpture, and building. Artists began to study anatomy, perspective, and light. They painted real people with real emotion. The human body was not hidden. It was celebrated. The Black Death changed everything too. The plague swept through Europe in the 1340s and killed a third of the population. The loss was devastating, but for survivors the world was different. There were fewer workers, so wages rose. Families inherited land and wealth. A new middle class of merchants and bankers had money to spend. They spent it on homes, chapels, and art that showed their status and their beliefs. Politics mattered as well. The papacy was in Rome, but its control was often weak. For decades the popes even lived in France. The political vacuum let cities experiment. In Florence, the Medici ruled not as kings but as first citizens. They funded artists like Brunelleschi, Donatello, and later Michelangelo. In Venice, sea power and trade wealth built a republic that lasted 1,000 years. Competition between cities meant if one court rejected an artist, another would hire him. So the Renaissance started in Italy because of four forces meeting at once. Trade routes created wealth. Ancient ruins provided inspiration. The Black Death shifted the economy, and divided city-states competed to be the most beautiful, the most learned, and the most powerful. Money met memory. Ambition met opportunity. From that mix a new age was born, and it began in Italy. If this video helped you, then like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel.